Yo, what's poppin'? Welcome to Bhroman Braapsody. We are at Indian Motorcycle Greensboro Triad with the Indian demo truck here, and we are taking the 2025 Indian Classic Scout out for a spin. So let's do a quick walk around of the Classic Scout. You got LED headlamps up front, a little bit of a bob fender, fat-ish tire, I'd say. The cool thing is they're all spoked wheels and single disc, and look at the fender, man. The classic fender, wow. Chrome, old school look, old school headlamp. And then you have the liquid cooled 1250cc V-twin, puts out 105 horses, 82 foot-pound of torque. Yeah, and it's got that beautiful classic fender in the rear, and all of these fenders for the Scouts, this and that are all redesigned. Why? So that the accessories for the Scouts, the rear fenders, can fit across. You don't have to pick and choose anymore. Beautiful rear fender, exposed shocks, and since this is the Classic, and then the base trim, you have the keyed ignition. So all Scouts now come in three trims. You have the basic, limited, and limited plus tech. The limited, you get cruise control on this bike, and with the limited plus tech you'll get the round. I don't think this comes with the round dash, but you get cruise control, push button start, traction control, lean sensing, ABS, all that good stuff. Handlebar controls are pretty basic here. Passing lights, high beams, blank here for your cruise control, turn signal, hazards, and horn. On the right hand side is the kill switch starter, and you can toggle through the little menu that you get in the middle. This is pretty standard. You have your speedometer, bunch of warning lights, and this little digital thing that gives you a lot of information. Let's check it out. Turn this guy on. So you see warning lights all over, and this display here, this gives you a lot. This is your tachometer, which gear you're on, fuel gauge, and time. And if you toggle through it, you get your voltmeter, outside temperature, fuel economy, fuel range, odometer, trip 1, trip 2, and back to your tachometer. And then if you look down below, classic design, the fuel cap, this little console here with the two buttons. One would be for your driving lights and one would be for your heated grips. Pretty sleek design, nice little seat which comes all the way back. And at the back you have the traditional lights, turn signals. So cool. You know what that means. What time it is? It's right o'clock. Let's go. If you're new to Bhroman, give us a like and hit that subscribe button. We put out content every week, and your support would mean a lot. Demo ride, another demo ride. So now for 2025, these are 2025 Indian Scouts with a new motor. It's a 1250cc motor, putting out about 105 horses now, I think. Now this does not have cruise control. I don't know if the cruise control is an option you can add or not. Maybe that's with the technology pack. Now all the trims have different options you can select, so that's pretty cool. And the other thing that it might not seem like that, but when we do, you might have seen it in the Walkaround, is the fender. So the rear fender of all the Scouts have been redesigned so that you can mix and match it across all the different trims. So if you wanted a seat, it can go on any, you can add a seat to the Classic Scout, to the Bobber, to whatever. So let's jump into our first impressions of this motorcycle. Well, I am sitting quite upright, and it's a pretty comfy seating position. My legs aren't bent weirdly. The handlebars are big and wide, and what they've done with this new Scout lineup is they've played with the seating ergonomics, the riding ergonomics a little bit. So now, although the foot controls are a little forward, on the previous generations it felt like that they're all the way up out in the front. With this, not so much. They've made like subtle changes to make the seating position a little better, in my opinion, because that was my only complaint with the Scout, was like the seating position wasn't really comfortable. I'm quite liking the seating position on this one. And this has the traditional Indian teardrop mirrors, which you can see a lot of. And yeah, since you don't have the ride command center, you do not have riding modes. So this is just standard. You don't get the sport and the wet modes. If you're not a big fan of technology and you want it to look old school, this is the one for you. I think this is the one you'd go for. and it's, man, that engine is so smooth, man, so smooth. Those guys are on pursuits, man, they look comfy, nice and comfy. Yeah, a little chugga chugga chugga, but it's a liquid cooled engine, so it's not gonna be as chugga chugga as my air cooled Roadmaster. Just let's take a listen to the sound of this motor and the engine, shall we? It even popped a little. Oh yeah. So the good thing about these bikes is they're light, they're low to the ground, like the seating position is much lower, and they have a good amount of power, so you can just play around with it. I think these are great for urban commuting or for running your errands and whatnot. Perfect. Okay, so we're going on the highway, which means we can do a little pull test here. Okay, go on guys. Alright, so let's try this out. Let's do a little pull test. Let's go. Come on, Scouty, Scouty Wouty, let's go. Let's go. Yeah. Got a little bit of wheel spin there, but it's fun, man. It's fun. Oh yeah, man. Yeah. So wind protection, there is none. No windshield, no fairing, none of that. So wind protection, you're not gonna get anything. You're gonna get a lot of wind in your upper body, lower body, everywhere. But it's really stable. Look, we are on the highway, interstate, doing interstate speeds, and super stable. So is this gonna be a good bike for touring? Well, probably not the best for touring, for going really long distances, but a couple of 100 miles on the interstate, or if you're taking back roads, yeah, you should be just fine. Again, because no windshield, so that's the reason why I'm saying not the best for highway riding or touring on the highway going long distances, and no storage space either, so there's that. How about commuting? Is this a good bike for commuting? Yes, this is gonna be great for commuting. If you put a saddlebag, or if you carry your laptop and stuff in a backpack, you should be just fine commuting on it. Is this a good bike for beginners? This is not gonna be the best option for beginners, but this is not gonna be very bad either. Like, it doesn't have a whole lot of power. It's decently powerful, but you can learn how to ride the clutch and get all that, get the feeling of how to ride a motorcycle and whatnot. The Scout 60, in my humble opinion, is the best beginner bike from Indian, but this wouldn't be too bad, is what I'm gonna say. In conclusion, this is the 2025 Indian Scout Classic. It's light, it's nimble, it's more powerful than before, with a little tweaked seating design and seating ergonomics, which is not a bad thing. I think they've improved the seating position a lot by those little tweaks. This engine is quite peppy and quite fun to ride, actually. And yeah, the seat. Okay, so the seat, let's talk about the seat. So the seats have been a point of contention on the Scouts for a while. The seat on this bike isn't bad. Isn't bad. It's not going to be the super comfy of seats, but you probably need to change the seats to something a little more comfortable, in my opinion. So you should be fine, and this is going to be great for commuting, decent for touring, like a couple of 100 miles, and not too bad for beginners. So if you're looking for a Scout that's got a classic look to it, not a whole lot of tech features, you might be just fine with this Scout. So look up the closest Indian dealership and check out the Indian demo truck and the demo tour, and go out there, take one out for a spin and see for yourself. You might quite like it. Well, thanks for watching, you guys. Keep your knees in the breeze, and I'll see you soon. Bro out.